Yo, what's going on, guys? We are here, about to get Jackson on, and damn, made it at 5 o'clock exactly. Had my girlfriend's asleep in the living room, who was unloading the dishwasher. But I hope you guys are having a great day today. We got a doozy. We'll be talking about Chet Holmgren's injury. We'll be talking about the moves the Lakers should make. Ben Simmons could be the next Draymond Green. Potential signings for the Brooklyn Nets. Potential breakout NBA players this coming season. And to wrap up the show, we'll talk Darkhorse NBA playoff teams. So if you enjoyed today's show, tell a friend and be a friend by telling a friend. And if you didn't like the show at all, just forget it ever fucking happened. So let's get right into today's video and let's talk hoops. So I do think, all in all, it's interesting what's going on here. And first off, we're gonna finish setting all of this up. So I want to make sure that we're too left. I feel like I'm too much to the left. There we go. And Jackson has joined us. Hello, Jackson from the room room. You just hop out the shower. Are you sweating?
Just bagged abroad.
Huh?
Just bagged abroad. Sure.
It's back to front. That's how I look when I leave the gym shower. Cause like I wear like flip flops and I'm just trying to get out of the gym shower in like 2 minutes. So like my clothing that I wear afterwards is just sopping wet. Cause
Oh, jeez. What, you don't bring clothes?
no, I do. But like because I hop out and
Oh,
get
yeah, like you don't dry is what you're saying.
because the towels are shit, and then you're wearing flip flops and you're not trying to touch the floor because
Yeah.
you don't want MRSA, and like you get what I'm saying. So like whenever I leave the gym, my shirt always looks like I don't dry because it's just like the towels are small, like it's just not. But I don't want to walk out in the heat sweaty, Now,
Hey, Matt Wento and Thomas Perry from outside TP from outside Toronto.
yeah,
And
Nova
we got
Scotia.
Matt from Toronto in here. We got a couple Canadians in here, eh?
Hey, don't you know? I don't know. But either way, what is your thoughts on the fear that Oklahoma City Thunder's second overall pick, Chet Holmgren, has torn ligaments in his foot? That is the fear right now. And I've read if it's mild, it could be 6 to 8 weeks. But if it requires surgeries, it could take up to 6 to 8 months.
That's the kicker. What's up, Shade?
What up, Shade?
Man, yeah, dude, were we talking about this yesterday?
I think we were talking about
we talked about this freaking yesterday. This blows. This absolutely blows, man. It's any rookie, any player for that matter, you don't want to see him get injured, but especially a rookie is a second pick. Goodness, I'm depressed, man.
Do you think this is maybe like, I don't want to say, my thought process is this an early sign of what could be his career?
I guess so. Because I know we were talking about Mobley yesterday, and
he suffered injuries.
That's kind of like my fear with because Mobley missed weeks at a time, he missed months at a time. Like that's my worry is with Mobley too. Like is this like kind of how the career is gonna go here? I mean, I really hope not, but with these agile, athletic big men, I mean, it's scary, dude. It really.
It's not looking good, and yeah, no, I have no idea that. I don't know what we should be expecting at this point, and I get fearful that like, will he be able to, make an impact, be good? I don't know. Like, how bad is this? Obviously, we're gonna get more information. But it's my fear is the knees and the feet are the most susceptible injuries to these big guys. Okay, I know Greg Oden, he had that leg, like one leg was longer than the other, but Joel Embiid had foot problems, and he still had football problems flare up here and there. And I just think, is this a telltale? Yao Ming's career ended on foot injury.
Yeah.
I don't know if are you optimistic that it's not going to be bad? Obviously,
Yeah,
we're both the type of guys that we're not looking. We never want ill will on anybody. Correct.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm optimistic. I don't.
It's not
Hopefully,
like,
it's just just that minor 6 to 8 week timetable, 4 6.
or
You know,
maybe he misses the first month because of precautionary reasons. Maybe it's a
yeah,
Kate Cunningham thing. Maybe
probably will.
he. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. Kate got injured. You're right, 100%.
Cade, did he get hurt in the summer league or also?
Yeah,
I
it
wanted
was
summer
sometime
league.
in the summer. It was in the
Yeah.
summer.
And this is another thing I want to talk about. Was this foot injury caused by the Pro-Am game when he got hurt when LeBron went up for the layup?
Shade Texan might tell you, yeah. I didn't watch. I have been so MIA, so I don't know what's going on in anything.
So you don't know shit.
I don't know shit.
So basically, no, I made a video on this, and what had ended up happening was during a Pro-Am game is the crossover. LeBron went up for a basic layup. I guess it didn't look like they collided or anything. I think Chet literally just landed on his foot wrong and he hobbled. I made a video on this and he kind of limped to half court and then just sat on the ground and was like grabbing his foot.
God,
But
dude,
we
if I
thought
was
it
a Bucks fan.
initially, we all thought it was an ankle injury. We were all like, oh, he just rolled his ankle. Like that's
Oh,
what
okay.
everyone was like. Oh, he just rolled his ankle because everyone's jumped before and landed on their ankle. Weird. That's not
I
like.
hate that so much.
Well, I've never had any ankle problems, and I shout out my father for this because he never allowed me to wear low top basketball shoes. I've always worn basketball shoes that cover my ankles, and he's
Mhm.
always told me you have to tie the top of your shoes as tight as hell because you want it to like give your ankle
Yeah,
support. Never have I had ankle problems. The only times I've ever rolled my ankle, when has it been? When I played basketball in sneakers and low cut
yeah.
shoes, and that's why I don't play basketball in low tops. That's why I always get one of my friends wore those Hardens that are like super low cuts. I'm like,
Yeah.
those are sneakers. Those aren't basketball shoes. Those are just sneakers with
Yeah, I'm with
basketball.
you. I'm with you, dude. I went through a phase in college where it was like 3 straight summers I rolled my ankle. Like it was just, and it's all
Low,
stupid stuff. Like I'm trying to. The last time I rolled my ankle, I tried to block my cousin, my little cousin, my like high school cousin.
so you
Block
get
his
what I'm
shit out.
saying?
Yeah,
So that's what Chet was doing. He was trying to block LeBron's shot, and but then he realized he wasn't going to be able to block him, so he backed away. And we all just thought, oh, he probably just landed on that ankle weird, but it looks like it's worse. And my fear it's a Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid gap year. That's my biggest fear. You agree?
Yeah, that is brutal. On the bright side, Oklahoma City still without that happening is.
I made a video. I said I made a video. This helps their odds to get Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
If he does get a gap year, it will help them develop guys like Jeremiah Robinson Earl, see what they have in Darius Baisley. Also Jalen Williams from Arkansas, Jay Will. And so for me, I just think, okay, like this could be something beneficial long term. I don't think this foot injury. And the only thing we can say bad about this foot injury is it foreseeing. Is this like the start of something that's going to be a reoccurring issue in his career? Which again, we have said that we don't hope. It's just obviously part of covering NBA media. We have to look. You got to play a little devil's advocate, and obviously, we hope that everything is fine with him. He's going to seek a second opinion. And I don't know if you read the tweet. The tweet was very vague, basically saying, let's pull up the tweet. And
yeah, someone said in my Discord. I thought it was fake. I thought someone was just joshing.
No. It was legit here. I'll share it on the screen right now. Let me zoom in. All right, here. There we go. Can you read this part, the bottom part too? Thanks. All right, bet. So I've gotten used to it. I'm getting better at the whole thing because I feel like having graphics and shit makes the show.
Yeah, it's huge, dude. Yeah, I actually was watching something. I thought the same thing earlier today.
I was like, having these graphics just makes it looks better. Okay, so the original tweet was, "There's fear. Oklahoma City Thunder #2 pick Chet Holmgren has suffered ligament damage in his foot, and he's undergoing further opinion." Sources tell The Athletic. Stadium Sean Sharamia tweets, "Exams show Chet Holmgren has potential torn ligaments in his foot." Sources said a timetable is being determined based on further evaluation. Now, this is what I Googled: torn foot ligaments recovery time. I feel like this. I know this is just Google, guys, but this is whatever. If there's going to be doctors who will talk about this, but right here, this is what they say: most minor to moderate injuries relating to foot ligaments will heal within 2 to 4 weeks. More severe injuries, such as injuries that will need a cast or splint, will need a longer time to heal, up to 6 to 8 weeks. The most serious injuries will need surgery to reduce the bone and allow the ligaments to heal. The healing process can be 6 to 8 months. This is coming from medlineplus.gov, and it's regarding foot sprain aftercare, because you have to, anything regarding sprains is sprained ligaments.
So I would say, if I had to put money on it, I would say I think he's gonna be all right. I think if it was that bad, I mean, you could say actually the same thing on the contrary, but like, I think if he was done, I think he'd be done, and I think they'd say he's done. I think what'll happen is we're looking at something in the middle, and I think they'll probably hold him out, like you said, maybe till November, maybe Thanksgiving time.
When was Cade's first game? He missed the first month, right? Or did he come at the end of October? And
I think he started. I think he was back a lot faster than
he missed like the first 2 weeks at least.
He missed
the first 2 weeks.
He was on my fantasy team, and I don't remember being like, damn.
He didn't start getting good till like January, like December, January. December is when he started to really like show signs. January and on, he was great. December is when we really saw him to start going. But right here, we're just hoping that it's the 6 to 8 weeks. Maybe he just needs to be in a boot for a month or so. If that's the case, I'm cool with that. Like, put him in a boot. Hopefully he heals quickly and it's nothing too serious.
Yeah.
But for me, we're going to wrap this segment up and go to our next one, because I don't want to, there isn't much to discuss, and we've already talked Clickworth. Oh, damn, why did it go off? Going over here. I was mid-edit of something, but we're out. So what I wanted to say was, I have no idea. But yeah, we're just hoping that it's fine. All right, now let's go to our next segment, which is moves the Lakers should make. We have also minute marker 13:09. Now, it's going to be, the thing with this is the Lakers, what moves have we heard? We've heard the Utah Jazz, Bojan, Malik, Mike Conley, Pat Bev. We haven't heard anyone else from the Jazz they're interested in besides those guys. Then we've heard, they said they're not interested in Julius Randle, but it seems like Julius Randle and M. Fournier in a 3-team deal could go there, but they haven't shown interest. And then obviously the Miles Turner and Buddy Hield out. And if we're just talking trades, we'll talk free agent signings in a sec. We'll pull up some guys who are available. Out of those 3 teams, Jazz, Knicks, Pacers, which team would you want to facilitate a trade with?
Any.
Which
Literally
one?
any.
But obviously, we can agree, make a trade. A trade needs to be made. But which players do you think fits the roster better? And I just assume that their offense is going to be similar. They want to use Anthony Davis, probably kind of like Giannis, I guess, and LeBron played the Chris Middleton role, or vice versa. I just think Davis, they're going to try to use him as like a Giannis, like, because Darvin Ham being from Milwaukee.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my.
He likes what he's seeing at home.
Yeah, that's all. You know what I mean?
All right.
So
I'm eliminating the Pacers
because it would have happened.
I think. Well, I my concern more is if you have a healthy Anthony Davis, I don't really need a Miles Turner. and a Buddy Hield. I know LeBron's gonna be that guy with the ball in his hands, but I still would love. What was it? What was the other one outside Jazz? Knicks? Yeah, I'm all set.
I don't
I
want
would
Randall or
go.
Fournier.
Yeah, I'd go 100% Utah Jazz. I don't even
Agreed.
need Mike Conley. Give me Pat Bev because Pat Bev's someone I'm relying on in the playoffs. I'm relying on all season. And
But the culture.
Ball handle. Exactly. He's perfect for this squad. He's absolutely perfect. And honestly, everybody else is just like complimentary, like extra cheese, baby.
I agree. I just think nothing against Mike Conley. I think we are both in agreement that Mike Conley, one of the most underrated point guards of his generation, a guy who should have gone to more All-Star games. I don't even know if Mike Conley made an All-Star game. I think he made one out of 10.
He made it last year,
either
last year or the year before, because he was lighting that up from downtown, especially.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. Everybody knows Mike Conley's a good basketball player, but I think I agree. I think you take Pat Bev because he is a loud guy. He's going to set the culture. He's going to hold people accountable. So similar to, in a lesser extent, to how our man Jimmy Butler is. There's certain guys in the NBA that you bring them onto your team and they set an example for other players. Especially with Pat Bev, he'll set the tone defensively. Nothing against Mike Conley. He's just as good defensively. I just think personally, I would have Pat Bev over Mike Conley. I agree. It's just a grind, a great player, like Thomas Perry just said right here. Bojan Bogdanovic and Malik Beasley. I think if you do a combination of Pat Bev, Pat Bev, Bojan, and Malik Beasley, they all are about $47 million. Guess whose contract is $47 million? On the Lakers. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
I'd send him. I sent 2 first-round picks for Beasley, Pat Bev, and Bojan.
I'll do whatever I gotta do. If Russell Westbrook's in that trade, take whatever you want, man. Take whatever you want. But at the same time, like I said yesterday, or maybe I said this in a Laker video yesterday, I'm still hope Russell Westbrook, you're still my guy. I still have faith.
Yeah, I don't know why you have faith in him. Nothing against Russell Westbrook. I just think he's the definition of an aging superstar who hasn't come to the realization that he's lost some of his athleticism and he needs to change his game. I mean,
dude, imagine, Russ is a grounder just like Pat Bevy. What if Russ comes with like a 35 at least 3-point shot next season? He's chucking up 3.5 of
Oh, no. Pat, wherever Russell Westbrook ends up next year outside of the Lakers,
he's going to be a freaking beast.
He's just going to have the pettiest season ever. He's just going to have like an incredible stat. Yeah. He's just going to be like, y'all forget about me, sign a big contract, and then revert to Lakers. Then he'd be like,
I don't need him to change the game. It's all good. It's all good. You got Big Daddy LeBron James.
So now that we're in agreement, make a deal with the Utah Jazz, any combination of the 2 to 3 players you can. Mainly, we want Pat Bev. I like Malik Beasley and Bojan, 2 wings. I like Beasley more because he can actually defend when he tries, but 2 guys who can shoot the threes, and that's just what they need.
Dude, imagine they somehow were able to maneuver Jared Vanderbilt in that trade.
I wish that was possible, but no, that would never happen because we both know that supposedly so many teams have called the Jazz for Jared Vanderbilt this summer.
They should, yeah.
Or they've shut it down. They're like, we like Jared Vanderbilt just as much as you guys. I bet you Danny Ainge is looking at Jared Vanderbilt and he's like, you're Robert Williams. Like, you could be like exactly what Robert Williams. Like, I don't know. Like, as much as I love Udoka Azubuike and Walker Kessler, I got to think Jared Vanderbilt. He has a powerful body, but if you build that team right, he could really just be your center.
Oh.
Okay, so free agents. Let's look at this. The top free agents according to Hoops Hype. We know we've talked about Colin Sexton. I don't know how they get that deal done, but send Kendrick Nunn in a pick. Sexton, but
it's a pipe dream. I'll take it, but I don't.
I think we're in a quarantine. They don't need Montrezl Harrell. They have Davis, because you just said it. Why do we need Miles Turner if Davis is healthy? And then they have Damian Jones and Bryant. We're assuming Davis is the starting center, and then you have Bryant and Jones off the bench. I'm cool with the Schroeder.
Please make it happen. Please make it happen. Why is it not happening yet?
He's kind of him and Lonnie Walker. Schroeder and Lonnie Walker could be your co-six mans.
Is it a money thing? What's he do? Why is this not happening yet?
It's probably they're just trying to see the other fishes in the sea. Again, we've talked about Carmelo last resort to round out the bench, bring him back, but
I definitely bring him back.
I just want Carmelo to go somewhere else.
I want Melo back in the leg show.
Now, if we look at another guy, we don't need any centers.
Yeah, I'd take. It's like same thing with Dwight. Like
we don't.
If it's point guard, all you can do for me, definitely not TJ Augustine.
I'm trying to see if there's anyone.
I'd take.
There's no Frank Jackson, no Rajon Rondo.
I'd take Rondo. I know.
I wouldn't take.
Last year.
I feel like I know injuries have really hampered Jeremy Lamb, but he shot terribly last year. But like, he's a 3-and-D guy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind on a veteran minimum. Maybe give him like a non-guaranteed deal or very little, so you maybe have him try out for the team in training camp. Basically, please do not bring Blake Griffin. Please. I would hate Blake Griffin on this team. Ben McLemore is a guy, he sometimes gets hot, but again, no defense. And it's just getting tough because free agency is really dry. And I don't know if you should get old guys and like hoop type, like Brandon Goodwin, he was cooking for the Hawks and then the Cavs this past year. He shot league average 35%.
He can command an offense. He could command a bench unit.
Should they bring in Jake Layman?
No.
Dude, I honestly think, and that's what I was going to say. No, I was going to say bring Chris Dunn on an Exhibit 10 contract.
My man shot 9%.
Yeah,
that works perfectly.
He averaged 2 steals a night, almost 6 assists, 7.6 points, and 3.5 rebounds. You're telling me if you bring him on a minimum contract, that wouldn't be nice off the bench? Look at how effective Frank Ntilikina was for the Dallas Mavericks during the playoffs with his perimeter defense. I think Chris Dunn's thick boy. Also, I don't know why people don't try Chris Dunn as like small forward.
He's younger. Yeah, he's such a good passer, man.
He's just Rajon Rondo. He's a bigger Rondo.
He's like a budget prime Rondo.
Yeah, he's like the Walmart great value store brand version of Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics Rondo. Rondo without the 3-point shot.
Yeah.
And so the problem is there's old guys. Didn't Luka Garza sign, I think, with the T-Wolves or something?
Do you really? Someone should have snagged him up a long time ago.
I like Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. He's got long arms and like he sometimes flashes, but I don't know if he's a guy. I'm not trusting Josh Jackson.
Yeah. I want him to pan out so badly.
So do I. I just don't know who to look at right here. I actually really fuck with the idea of Facundo Campazzo if they want a defensive guy.
Yep. Made plenty of videos on that.
You did?
Yeah. Same with the Dubs.
Facundo? I would love Facundo Campazzo on the Dubs.
Yeah.
Did you do that after we talked about it that one day?
I actually think I did. Yeah, right after. Yeah.
We talked about it there.
Yeah, that's right.
Watanabe would be cool. He's a young guy. He's shown that he can play power forward or small forward. All right, we're done with this. I don't know. We're going to move on to the next segment. Alrighty, 1 second. I just need to kill this window because it's just like using up too much CPU.
Where are all the people? Oh, Thomas is here. Let's go. Oh, man. Nets interested in TT.
Yeah, I saw that. That's actually, I think our next segment, we're going to talk about Draymond Green and Draymond Green, Ben Simmons. So there's an article coming out. And it's funny that we talked about this yesterday. They're expecting to play. I'm looking at this roster, and I was like, damn, they don't have a backup center. They should play Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant as their front court, then throw Joe Harris, Seth Curry, and Kyrie out there. And guess what pops up on Twitter? Oh, the Nets are thinking about running Ben Simmons at center next year. And I'm like thinking in my head, everyone's like, Ben Simmons was supposed to be the next LeBron. But what if Ben Simmons is the next Draymond Green? both Hall of Fame players.
That'd be sick, man. He's already got those 3 All-Stars.
And what, 2-time all defensive team?
Yep.
So we sit here and we think, I like that because the reason I'll admit, I didn't say Draymond Green. When we initially had this conversation, I said, you run Ben Simmons at center. And what did I say? They brought in the assistant coach from Dallas, who was the offensive architect for the Jalen Brunson-Luka Doncic duo. And I was like saying Ben Simmons and Kyrie should like try to recreate that. And I'll admit, I did not do the correlation with the Draymond Green, but I'm still going to take some credit for this. But with that being said, I like the idea because Draymond Green's only had 1 year of respectable 3-point shooting, right?
Yeah, and every single playoff.
He does cook up in the playoffs. He's like
I think in the regular season, it's just like this isn't needed. This isn't the best. This is not what we.
His imaginary backpack is.
Yeah, right.
Have you seen the Draymond Green backpack memes?
Yeah.
He shoots with the backpack on. That was a classic. Hey, dude, it's so good now.
Yeah, it really is.
Like I gotta show this picture. It's like so perfect where like you're just like he really does shoot with a backpack on. And the backpack the backpack's just a bit heavier in the regular season. He takes a few bricks out the imaginary backpack during the playoffs.
Yeah.
But no, Draymond Green.
Yeah, I like the point. I like that. Yeah.
His best 3-point shooting year, he had shot 38.8% in 2015, averaged 14 points. He had a 4-year span where he averaged 11, 14, 10, and 11. Never, and then now he's been on a 4-year span, just averaging 7.5 points.
Yeah.
And he shoots like 27%. But even if literally Ben Simmons can come out, average 8 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, steal and a half, block and a half, or a block a game on 50% from the field and like 25%, 27% from 3. I'm fine with that. I'm not mad. I mean, if you can come out here and average like 14, 9, and 7, and 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks while shooting 50% and 35% from 3, even fucking better. But I'm not asking for much. Just give me Draymond. Just average the same stats as Draymond, bro.
He will. He will. I mean, he'll give you 15, 7, and 7 easily.
He can. He's averaged.
That's his career average. If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
15, 8, and 7. His best season for rebounds was his second year, 8.8. His best assist year was his rookie year with 8.2. He's hit 8 assists twice, so you can pass 8 assists. He can grab 8 boards. So we need 8 and 8. And he's averaged 16 before, but let's just give me 14, 8, 8, and he's averaged 2 steals a game. Give me 2 steals and a block.
That is true.
Okay, Kyrie
doesn't offer.
Kyrie, and Kevin Durant. You know who'd be the perfect coach? You know who's the perfect coach for Kyrie and Kevin Durant?
Themselves?
No, Phil Jackson.
Why?
Because he does like yoga and he would make his players.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like the more spiritual.
Yeah, he's
the more personable.
Okay. He's all about leading. Like once or twice a week, he would make his players do meditation in a dark room. They would all sit there in the dark together and just synchronized breathing.
I love it.
Isn't that like don't you agree Phil Jackson would be the perfect coach for Kyrie?
What's he up to these days?
It's probably not shit, dude. Probably being an old fuck.
He's probably like writing books and like being a G.
I read his book. This is how I know his book's fine.
Oh, cool.
He's a hippie. He's like really into
he is. I love it. We need more hippie coaches. Come on.
Let's bring back 76-year-old Phil Jackson. One season. One last dance.
Yeah, one.
And then let's make that the documentary. One last dance.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tell Michael Jordan to film it.
Yeah, he's all set.
I also just want to say everyone gives fucking Kristaps Porzingis's not Kristaps Porzingis, but basically, I think it's just funny that Phil drafted Kristaps and Kristaps was booed, but like Kristaps just was amazing.
I'd trust the process if I were in that situation.
What process? The Phil Jackson process, or
yeah, I'm gonna trust what Phil Jackson thinks is
he was pretty bad as the Knicks executive, but
yeah, but still, yeah, and they hate him, right?
they what?
Don't they hate him, Phil Jackson?
Yeah, well, because his end of his tenure was like pretty fucking bad.
It's the whole Melo situation. I feel
Yeah, it was.
guys...
He basically attempted to buy out Melo, and then he had like a public like dispute with Porzingis, and then he was basically fired.
I have a funny Bill Walton story. Like I remember as a kid, one time I was watching like a college basketball game or whatever, and I think he's more of like the late night. I don't watch too much college ball.
He does a lot of Pac-12.
I was somewhere in like North Carolina or something with family, and I was watching a game, and like I'm like, who the hell is this? I was young. I'm like, who the hell is this announcer? He's hilarious, and it was Bill Walton, and so
he says whatever he wants.
More into basketball, yeah. It's
so to wrap up the Nets talk. We've heard Tristan Thompson. I mean, we can speculate about a Donovan Mitchell trade, but if they try to, because they threw their hat into the ring for a Donovan Mitchell trade, and if they were to go for Donovan Mitchell, that would mean they trade Ben Simmons. So I don't think there's even a reason to talk about a Donovan Mitchell trade. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the fact that they're interested in Tristan Thompson, which is cool. I mean, he averaged 6 and 6 in 16 minutes a night. That's pretty good. Okay. And then Markieff Morris, he only played 17 games because he got fucking whiplash from being decked too hard by Nikola Jokic. So, I mean, he's a defensive, switchable power forward center. He's a guy who's a career 35, 36% three-point shooter, can grab, a few boards a night, pass the rock a little bit, shoot pretty efficient, give you like 7 to 8 points at the very least. I think Markieff Morris and Tristan Thompson are two additions that wouldn't be too bad at all if they just did that.
Okay. I have a question for you.
What?
Do you think if Markieff Morris ever visited Serbia, he'd not return home?
Dude, I knew you were going to say that. I don't know. I knew you were going to say that as soon as you said it. You were going to say if Markieff Morris went to Serbia, would he get shot or something? Dude,
he's not coming.
I feel like if Markieff Morris just went to Europe, he would just be so he would be heckled. He'd be heckled so hard in Europe.
Yeah, as he should.
I'm over here though. When we look at the rest of the guys out in free agency,
is Jordan Morris still a free agent?
I think he's just waiting to sign the qualifying offer, or they're working out a long-term deal and they're trying to establish how much he's worth. And it's just it's weird because you do that through there. Like, look, what is it? He's going to year 3. And he actually played some minutes this year, average shooter, but like comes off like, what is he? Is he just a role player, or he's an eventual starter? Is he the guy who's going to eventually, push Chris Middleton to shooting guard and you run Jordan Nwora, Giannis, and Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, or is he just going to be an off the bench guy like Pat Connaughton? Even though Pat's kind of a starter now. So. And for me, besides Tristan Thompson and Markieff Morris, the other names are kind of be the same names that we said for the Lakers. Like kind of like Jeremy Lamb. They kind of need wings, maybe a power forward, but that'd be Markieff Morris. I think Markieff Morris is the best available power forward. I'm not seeing shit out here. They have guards. I'm not worried about their guards. They just need wings. And there's not many wings out there anymore. So.
Yeah, I like Lamb. I like Lamb a lot. I think a contender should take. I guess it kind of depends on the contender, but I'm taking it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It makes sense completely. Yeah, but it's an interesting thing. So I think we're just in agreement that their best choice right now is to go out and get themselves, I guess, Tristan Thompson and our man, who else? I say Tristan Thompson, Markieff Morris. So I wonder who that is. I mean, yeah, Jeremy Lamb, great wingspan, good shooter. He's another guy. I think they just need a wing. What do you think?
Do it. Get the paper. Give me a pen.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I need to grab a water.
Give me a shit ton of money so I can make it happen as well. Well, Thomas, it's nice to see you. I don't talk basketball when Cyro's gone. Which, probably isn't good, actually. I don't know if people listen to this, like, after hours and on the radio. Like, imagine, like, that's the goal. It's, like, people listening to the song. So, yeah.
And I'm back.
I would say, yeah, Jeremy Lamb.
Jeremy Lamb would be a great pickup for the Nets. But it comes down to health. It really just comes down to health. Now, let's move up into our next segment. What did we say? We wanted to do breakout players, I believe it was.
Yes, sir. And how do you do that?
What are you doing? Are you doing the... Wait, no, it's...
Where is it, like, when's it, like, come... No, it, like, comes back to you. It's supposed to, like... You're supposed to, like...
Are you... No, I was doing Randy Orton RKO.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely not doing RKO here. My breakout player of the 2022-2023 NBA season is... You want to take a guess? I think you'd guess it. We won't do it, but you'd guess it in 10 tries.
Okay. No. I'll give it... Okay, I'm going to start with...
Yeah.
Is it on the Bulls or the Rockets?
I'll give you a yes. And now you're only
second year
one.
player? Second year player?
Too specific.
It's Jalen Green.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised. No, he will, but he's already good. Okay.
Yeah, he's right.
The answer is Kevin Porter Jr. And I'll tell you why. So while Jalen Green was dropping a 40 bomb and 30 bombs and just 20 a night every single night for several weeks on end at the end of the season, what people don't realize is that there was a phenomenal, talented duo as well. Jalen Green got all this media hype, national media hype. And, well, what did Kevin Porter Jr. do? Thank you for asking. I'll tell you what Kevin Porter Jr. did. He got his shooting up from 40% to 43.5%. He got his scoring up from 13.7, which is abysmal, to 18.9. He got his turnovers down. What is it? Turnovers 3.5 to 2.5. He got his free throw percentage up about 11%. And most importantly, he looked great with Jalen Green, and even more importantly, the Houston Rockets backcourt duo looked great.
All right, so I have his stats right here. Yes, in 39 games, he went from being about a 40% field shooter to 43.5, went from 38% from three down to 37, but he also went from 6 attempts to 8 attempts, went from, like you said, 13.7 to 19 a night. And yeah, he looked all around. I just have my biggest problem or biggest fear with the man that we're talking about in Kevin Porter is Kevin Porter now is what? He's played 2019 to 2020, 3 seasons, going to year 4.
Big year, contract year.
Contract year.
Get that money, Kevin.
He's going to play well. He's going to play well like he should. But what Kevin Porter are we going to get? And what is even Kevin Porter worth? Because KPJ, don't get me wrong, talented guy, but is he a shooting guard or is he a point guard? Is he a 6 man?
No, I'm good. Sorry, that sounded mean. No, he's not a 6 man, but he is an all-around star who can do anything you want
defense.
Yeah, I knew that was Well, the good news is he's gonna improve. Because he's Kevin freaking Porter Jr. And that's what he does. He was a shooting guard, and he was a hell of a shooting guard, and he's still a phenomenal shooting guard. And the best part is that Jalen Green's assist total and playmaking improved not only for himself, but for his team. So now I got two guys who can handle the rock. They can score for themselves. They can create an offense. They can do things on offense. So Kevin Porter Jr. is going to, and here's the thing, here's a great thing with the Houston Rockets is we have this money, and if he has a phenomenal season, I'm gonna pay him and I'm gonna take the risk because he has that thing called swagger. He has that thing called swagger. He's got that swagger. Does he not have that swagger?
He does have swagger, but
that swagger.
Let me go back to his splits.
He was not a point guard. So what does he do? All right, G League.
So, I mean, I don't have a problem of having basically two shooting guards be your 1 point guard. Basically, if both Green and Porter both average 6 assists a night, it works. I just get scared that by having Kevin Porter and Jalen Green are both ball dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Kevin Porter, but I feel like Kevin Porter just hinders Jalen Green's game a bit. He takes away from Green's ability.
I think if anything, I think he adds a nice little compliment to it.
I personally would rather Green bring the ball up and Porter play more off ball. But at the same time,
that's what they can do.
They can do it. I know.
Forget about a cat named Alperen Şengün, who is one of the best big man passers in the league.
I know. He is.
Hello.
He is. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you need a coach. We need to see Steven Siles run the right plays for that. I agree. Kevin Porter Jr., rightfully so, should be in the breakout candidate. What is your expectation stat line for Kevin Porter Jr. as I queue up my breakout candidate for this season?
Well, the ball is going to be spread a lot. There's a lot of scores. This offense, Houston's going to have a great, hopefully efficient offense, but genius and Steven Silas as your head coach. I would say we'll probably see something. I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy. I don't think we'll see 20 points per game, but if we do, I mean, do we have a star on our hands? Do we know for sure that now we got our star? We got a complimentary star now. I'd probably say what he'll average next year is what he averaged in the second half of the season.
True.
That's my hope and in my head.
So 19-6.
Yeah. About 19, about 19, 5, 6, 6.5, 6 something. Steal a night, 40% 3-point-ish.
Now, my guy, he only started 8 games last year, and he wasn't. But the thing is he went pre-All-Star 1.7 assists, post-All-Star 3 assists, and as a starter, he had 3.5 assists. And he's a guy who averages about 5 rebounds a night and was actually a 10 points per night scorer. And yes, the man who worked with Drew Hanel, the man who's playing for the Israeli basketball team, the man that Jackson got right, Denny Althea. I'll admit it was a close second with Franz Wagner, but
nice.
I used my rule of thought, your rule of thought. The reason why you didn't say Jalen Green was because Jalen Green had already solidified himself, and I think Franz Wagner, he was basically in the MVP. I'm not MVP, fuck no, but in the Rookie of the Year race. Like, obviously, he was closer to 10 than 5, but Franz Wagner Wagner, you could have maybe said he was like the 5th best.
And people do. People do. And there's a real argument for that. People do, and there's a real argument for it.
Yeah, and I think Franz Wagner, I don't think he was like, if I wanted to give a breakout guy, kind of like how you did Kevin Porter, where like Denny's going into year 3 now, and it's kind of like make or break for him if he's going to be an actual starter or if he's going to be a role player. So I feel like this is a big year. And Thomas Perry, John Wall's already broken out. I mean, it's just both of the guys you said, TJ Warren, John Wall, those are called resurgences. I don't call those breaking out.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know what more, because people forget Warren, especially in Phoenix, is like dropping like 20. Yeah, he was doing that in Indy still. It wasn't just Bubble. It was Bubble Warren gets a lot of praise, but
TJ Warren's always been a scorer.
Yeah.
So back to Denny Abdia. He's been still working, I think, getting the runs in with the Israeli team, because you have to understand when he plays for the Israeli team, he's dropping like 25 a night for the Israeli.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, okay. He's like the number one scorer for the Israeli team. So I'm loving the fact that Denny Abdia, not only did we work with Drew Hanel, which we talked about, who's worked with, I believe, like Bradley Beal, Paul George, Jason Tatum, basically every like top 20 player in the league worked with this trainer. Guess who Denny Abdia worked with? That trainer, Drew Hanlon. And I'm very stoked with Denny because we need Denny to average like 14, 15 a night at least for this to be a breakout year. Let's get him to he was dishing out 3.5 assists, basically after the All-Stars break. So let's get him to 3.5, 4 assists a night, at least 5 rebounds, maybe closer to 7. He's a strong rebounder for the wing position. It really comes down to shooting. I think we all agree that like he's also needs to be a guy who needs to have the ball a little bit more in his hand. He's got that secondary playmaking gene in him. He's a guy that I think could easily average between 3 or 5 assists. I've always said I think he's a combination of Lamar Odom and Hito Turkoglu in a player. I think he's a guy who could be like a borderline all-star player. I think Denny Abdia, by the time he retired, could be like a 1 or 2 time all-star where he has like, 1 or 2 seasons where he drops like 20 a night, grabs like 8 boards and dishes out like 5 assists. And the big thing with Denny Abdia, why I believe the jump offensively will happen, is again just the way the roster is going to be set up with Will Barton, Monte Morris, Bradley Beal healthy, Kristaps Porzingis, Kyle Kuzma. He's going to have a bunch of guys who are going to be taking most of the attention. So a lot of teams are going to be leaving Denny Abdia open for 3. And I think he's going to be taking advantage of that. Similar to how he took advantage of being in the beginning of the team, teams were headhunting him for believing that he would be a mismatch. And then he goes and he shuts down fucking Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he has come out and says he takes pride. He takes so much pride in his defensive play and his defensive versatility, because he's like, most people come out, most teams act like I'm going to be just, a pushover, not good defensively. And I take it, you can see that he prides himself defensively and he enjoys playing good defense, and he knows good defense leads to what, Jackson? Good offense. Exactly. And I obviously, if I had to choose who could have the better year out of Kevin Porter or Denny Abdia, I will put my money on Kevin Porter. I will give it there to you. But I think Denny Abdia could become I think Denny Abdia could be the more efficient player who plays more winning basketball. Like, I don't think Denny Abdia is going to have any popping stats. I really think he's going to average like 14, 5, and 3.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 14 points, a steal, maybe steal and a half a night, and close to a block a night,
Yeah.
And
I'll take that.
Plus defender, solid starting. Like, I really like a lineup of Bradley Beal, Monte Morris, Denny Abdia, Kristaps Porzingis, and Kyle Kuzma as the starting lineup.
I love that. That's a playoff roster, no doubt.
Because you have Kuzma and Denny as arguably your 2 best defenders. You got a shot blocker in Kristaps Porzingis. If Bradley Beal can, interchannel the Bradley Beal of young Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, people forget, was actually good defender his first 4 years. He was averaging like 1.5 steals. Yeah, I really do believe that Denny Abdia, in my opinion, could be the guy. I just think, and then you have Corey Kispert behind him, but I just think Denny, he knows it, and he's just putting in that work. I follow him on Instagram, so I'm always watching his stuff, and you just see it. You just see him putting in that work, and he's going to be a good guy.
Nice.
Now we'll get to our final segment, and that is Darkhorse playoff teams.
Nice.
Okay, yes. NBA Western Conference, Eastern Conference. Which do you want to start with? You choose. Let me hear
East.
it. Let's go East. Okay. Let me get the Eastern Conference in view. Let me just get it zoomed properly in. And booyah. Okay. We should be good. There we go. Is this zoomed in enough, or you want one more?
Yeah, maybe if it's...
There we go.
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. You can see this? You can read this?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got the Miami Heat, Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, Philadelphia 76ers, Toronto Raptors, Chicago Bulls, Brooklyn Nets, Atlanta Hawks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Charlotte Hornets are the 10 teams that were playoff or play-in teams. Then the Knicks were the 11th seed. Wizards were the 12th. Pacers were the 13th. Pistons were the 14th. And the Magic were the 15th. Let me hear your dark horse teams, as we assume it has to be a team between this. I guess we won't put the Nets in there. Maybe we won't put the Hawks. So we'll put between the Cavaliers, Hornets, Knicks, Wizards, Pacers, Pistons, Magic as teams that are dark horse teams. Unless you have somebody, I just think everybody else is either playoff team or a contender. And we know, I think
Yeah.
a dark horse team is somebody who could either make an unexpected play-in run or an unexpected like playoff seed, and kind of how the
Yeah.
Cavs were last year or the Hawks of 2 years ago.
Yeah, so I don't know if I think Cleveland. I think like a month into
Cleveland,
this, I think a month into the season, like Cleveland wouldn't be considered on this list because this team was, dude. Cleveland like almost even had a shot at getting home field for a little bit, and then
Cleveland's
the
good.
injuries. Yeah,
Cleveland is let's not even put Cleveland in there. I guess it'd be Hornets, Knicks, Wizards, Pacers, Pistons, Magic. And I feel like the Wizards would be a dark horse contender, if Kristaps Porzingis became all NBA and like Bradley Beal was like MVP level.
yeah. I don't. I don't think there's any right answer actually outside of Washington, Detroit, and Orlando.
Yeah, I was gonna say my two. If we were gonna put it down, for the Eastern Conference. I think Detroit and Orlando are two teams that could be sneaky playing teams.
I'm gonna favor Orlando in that.
So do I think Orlando could be the Cleveland Cavaliers of this year.
Yeah, I agree. I like that a lot. I gotta make my Magic Channel shit.
Yeah, I think if you look at Orlando, and I know it's a 22 game jump, which is basically 100% win improvement, but I think Paulo Banchero could have that. People forget Jonathan Isaac, Paulo Banchero. We don't know where Isaac is, but Chuma Okeke, Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba. Okay,
Guys like Franz.
yeah, that's like that's just the big man. So then you got Franz Wagner, Terrence Ross. Okay, you still have what? RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony, Markel Fultz, Jalen Suggs. You just drafted who with your pick? Paulo Banchero. Exactly. So you got that. And I just look at this team and I'm like, there's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of length. I think first off, Orlando defensively going to be good. Going to be good. It all comes down to if they can shoot league average from three. If they shoot league average from three, boom, they're easily in the play-in. The Pistons, I think the Pistons are good if Sadiq Bey takes the jump that we expect from him. Jaden Ivey plays efficient, and Cade Cunningham continues to develop the way we want, and everybody else on the roster is good, and that they use Al Burks, Nerlens Noel, and the other veterans they have on the roster correctly. And I could see Detroit. If I had to choose between Detroit or Orlando, I'm choosing Orlando because I'm biased, but also because I think they have more veterans who can play right now and are actually good players, and Markel Fultz and Wendell Carter Jr. and Jonathan Isaac if he's healthy.
Mm.
Let me hear your take. Who are you taking right here?
Well, I'm going Orlando. I mean, Orlando's like a sneaky deep team. Did they get Gary Harris back?
Oh yeah, Gary Harris, dude. Holy fuck! I knew I was forgetting a name. Who's a great 3-and-D guy. Well, not really. He hit the three well this year, but he's had some bad shooting threes here as well.
So I think Orlando's a little bit more rounded. I think they're a lot deeper.
They're so
Detroit,
deep.
If Detroit's healthy, you'll be around the plane. I think you'll be around the plane. I think you'll just be around it. Like, I mean, you're only halfway. You're already halfway there. Or just get halfway there and you're kind of there.
Yeah.
Like, based on this list. Like you said, you need jumps. And you need pretty big jumps. Especially if we're talking, like, getting higher up into that conference. So, Sadiq, Cade. But then you need guys like Beef Stew as well. Duren. What's Duren going to look like? How's Jaden Ivey going to – that's my thing is I think Detroit starts slow, and I think they'll get closer. They're going to inch as the season progresses.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Washington's just a good-ass team.
Yeah, I think Washington's a good team. Washington's a playoff team. Same thing with the Cavaliers. But yeah, I think Pistons health's a big thing, and they need their players to take the jump and their veterans to play well. I just think the Magic overall deeper team. I think that team is at least 10 deep in good players. And they even have like Caleb Houston, who they drafted in Bowl, who we didn't mention. I mean, I don't expect either of them to do anything, but still, this team has like so many guys. I just think we can all agree that the Orlando Magic, out of anybody in the Eastern Conference right now, they're overlooked. They're better than the Pacers. They're better than the Pistons. Right now, if the Knicks don't get Donovan Mitchell, and even if they do get Donovan Mitchell, I don't know how much better the Knicks are. They're better than the Hornets. And that's all the teams that I'm confident enough to say that they're better than. So that puts them basically at the 10th seed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very confident that they're the 10th seed. Now, let's go over to the Western Conference. The Western Conference is made up, and this is the order of their seeding. First 10 teams, which were playoff or play-in teams, the Phoenix Suns, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Golden State Warriors, the Dallas Mavericks, the Utah Jazz, the Denver Nuggets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Los Angeles Clippers, and the San Antonio Spurs make out those 10 teams. Now, 11 through 15, we have the Los Angeles Lakers, the Sacramento Kings, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Houston Rockets. And I think we're both going to agree on the same team.
Portland.
Yeah. Yep. I looked at this and I was reading it and I was like, we don't know what the fuck could the Kings be that team?
Yep.
Yes. Keegan Murray.
Not as good as Portland.
Yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, I don't know what to expect from Mike Brown. I believe all the good things with Mike Brown. Everything is going to be good. But if you had to tell me when I think the Kings are going to be good, I think it'll be next season, not this year. I think they'll make the improvement. I think the Portland Trailblazers could be a playoff top 6 seed, while if anything, the Kings are a play-in team, nothing higher. And it also relies on Keegan Murray, Montes Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox all playing their best basketball.
Mm-hmm.
While Portland Trailblazers, Anthony Simons, Damian Lillard, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, Jusuf Nurkic.
Sac had a good offseason, especially like just your low-key guys. I know we've talked Kevin Huerter, but Portland, they're more talented. You have – and Damian Lillard's never been below 500 on a team he's
actually played.
Yeah.
So –
and the Lake Show,
we can't even rank them. We don't even know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to really.
Yeah,
I think there's no way. I think they're the exception.
No, you can never say the Lakers are a dark horse team.
Yeah.
But no, truly, I do think the Portland Trailblazers. We've talked about this before. If Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant all work out well, Gary Payton II. There's a lot of defense on this team. Shadon Sharp could be a sneaky guy off the bench if he's healthy. I just think as a whole, this is a good team. And I love that. It's so funny we're getting to the point. It's also funny that we started the new time on episode 51 and 50 episodes uploaded on the podcast are on the original time. And after episode 50, it's new time. Mm-hmm. But I like how we're at the point now, though, that we know our tropes. I know what teams and what players you're gonna dick eat, and you know what players and teams I'm gonna dick eat, and we know when we're gonna agree. We know where it's just gonna be a little bit of beef, where one of us is gonna tell the other one they're stupid as fuck, and they don't know shit from their ass. Like, okay,
yeah, I can't wait to get back home. I can't wait to move to Florida and really start.
I wonder how you're set up, because I assume moving there, you're going to probably do a proper setup in your room or wherever.
Yeah, it's going to have to be in my room.
But you'll probably do what I do right here. This is my room. I just found I actually found these on the streets and just spray painted them black.
Oh,
yeah, and just put 2 tables.
I'm going to have to get creative because it's not furnished.
Yeah,
we got good Wi-Fi. I just need something where it's not.
Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. Just go there, look for free furniture, and then get a can of spray paint and just spray paint it the same color. So you have matching color furniture.
I wasn't cool.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. It's just like having matching tables. Like the spray paint, you probably want to do 2 coats. I only did 1 coat, so on the table that I do a lot of my work on, a little bit of the spray paint is peeled off, and you can see the original white. But it's a good table.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah.
Because, like when you're home, or I guess you don't have, like, did you ever spend a summer not in Kansas?
No, because like
Okay.
I only spent a month during college at home when I went for winter break.
And that was probably weird for you, making videos and stuff.
No, I
different.
wasn't doing
It's
YouTube full time then.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
It's
start
just
going back.
It's just different at home.
It is different. I mean, I make content. I was home for like 3 weeks when we started this show, remember?
Yeah. I didn't really realize, bro, if you go back, it's so funny how listen to our first episode is. My audio, holy shit. We've made so much progress just with like this smallest stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's unreal how much it's all. The first episode sucked dick. That's why we're honestly like 60 or 70 deep, but I was only able to upload 50.
Oh, that's right. We were at the start. It was a little, yeah.
Because we found out that you can't use StreamYard on Firefox, and I use Firefox, and we were just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. It's only a Google thing, I guess.
Yeah.
No Safari either for StreamYard. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right. You got any closing thoughts for today's show?
I do have closing thoughts, and first off, I like to thank our sponsors, Cyro Asseo. No, but like maybe for I don't know, not tonight or whatever, but when I get back, like maybe a fun thing at the end would be, because I bet people like kind of our like talk like this, even like if we did viewer comment, like just open Q&A 10 minutes or something like that
on the show.
Don't have more than one viewer. Love you, Thomas. Yeah,
I'm down.
You know what I'm saying? Because like we'll have someone pop in here and be like Atlanta Hawks, but if we're in the middle of a podcast or if we're in the middle of a segment, I'm not gonna be like, hey, what's up, Bubbles? Yeah, the Hawks are good. So, but if he said that at the end, we can talk a little bit about the Hawks.
All right, sounds.
I think it's genius. I think it's genius.
No, that's fine.
I do gotta worry about those. You gotta get the more. I gotta get the morning routine down.
Dude, I met my first Mormon.
Calls. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I met my first Mormon this week.
Get freaked out?
No, he just tried touching my asshole. He said he wasn't gay. I'm kidding. That's like not even. Did you like how serious I said that?
Yeah, but I just know that's not.
Yeah, you just know I'm not kidding, but like, yeah, he's my lead, kind of like my manager at work. He's like he's doing his doctorate. He plays the trumpet. He has like he's trying to be in a symphony, so he's getting his doctorate in trumpet, and like he has a master's and an undergraduate in trumpet. Nice. I know I sound like an asshole saying it. I really, the only reason I sound like an asshole is like I don't know what's the correct thing, but like we were talking, like really nice guy. He's telling me cool stuff because I'm actually into classical music, but he's like, yeah, I'm like, dude, he's telling me like he's got like they play dubstep in New York, like dubstep. You know what I'm talking like?
I haven't heard that name in a minute and a half.
Like EDM, they play EDM with orchestra.
I'm telling you. You know what? I was going to say they're all weird, and they're not. And I remember I had this thought randomly like a few nights ago or something. I was like, shit, one of my like good friends when I was there was Mormon, and he was so normal, and he would like joke about this stuff too. So there's normal.
And then he would get, then you guys would get naked, and then he would get undressed, and he'd have undergarments on.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I liked Southern Utah was like you had free undergarments whenever. Like if you needed it, it's not too active.
Do they give out undergarments in Utah?
No, I think that's a stereotype. I think that's a stereotype.
I don't know if it's stereotype. What if they're all just wearing like 1930s bathing suits? Like
no, that's how it is. I'm telling you, that is how it is, and it's really freaking weird. I went to like Sand
Do you
Hollow
see
or
him?
something.
Do you see
Yes,
him?
dude, I went to Sand Hollow. My boys invited me.
Where the fuck is Sand Hollow? You act like I know this.
Oh, other people get it. No, I'm just kidding. It's like a
Utah?
little south. It's more getting towards the desert.
Oh, like
And
Moab?
yeah, like kind of think that type of vibe. Like it's Red Rock, and it's basically like all this cool. Like look it up. It's like really cool, and you
What's
like
it
jump
called?
and stuff. Sand Hollow, I believe it's Sand Hollow. I'm pretty sure.
Sand Hollow
Yeah.
State Park.
Yep.
Let's
Throw it on screen. Throw it on screen. Throw it on
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. I was gonna throw.
I had so much. I had so much fun, but all the like, there's nothing shown. There is nothing shown. You'll have girls like wearing like just like normal like shorts and a shirt.
Wait, it's just see through?
No, like it's just like normal clothes. Like they don't.
Well, this girl's
skin,
wearing
bro, I'm
bathing
telling
suit.
you. They're not Mormon. They're
Like,
clearly
Mormons not wear bathing suits?
You're not gonna get anything with this search. What do you think? There's gonna be like just a picture of a Mormon at San Hollow. What the fuck?
That's exactly what I was looking for. I assume they just photograph a Mormon. They probably don't want the people to know that Mormons come and hang out here.
That's exactly where I jumped off of. It was terrifying. I hate water, and I did it.
Where was that picture?
It was a couple back. A few more.
Which one?
Oh, can I see it?
This one? You jumped off this rock?
No. Yeah.
Oh, right here. This.
Yes, that one exactly. Yes, or
That's
it
where
looked just like it. Yeah.
Is this a lake?
That. See what I'm saying, bro? That guy's got a shirt and shorts on, bro. He's got a fucking shirt on. The guy jumping's got a shirt.
That's just probably a kid with like self-body image problems.
Kid is both of them look to me very clearly
we were in my fraternity and we were talking. I was talking with my guys and I was like, we should all get shirtless because we were like, it was frat laps. I was like, it'd be so funny if all the girls just saw us shirtless. And one of my guy friends goes, he's like, dude, there's so many guys here who don't have the self-confidence to be shirtless. And he starts like naming off guys. He's like, you think those fucks would like be willing to take those shirts off?
That is true. I would never feel that way, but I can understand why you would feel that way. But at that point, if that's how you feel, go change it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. If that's what the only people that I'll be like, it's okay to be sad that you're fat is if you have a disease that like makes you fat, that you either like you can't control it or you're sick or something. That's the only, or if you're upset that you're big boned. Like I have a couple friends who like they lost all the weight they can, but they're just bigger bone people. So like they won't get any skinnier unless they want to be anorexic, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
But I've had multiple friends. Like one of my boys, he was 6'5", 310 when I met him when we lived together. By the time he moved out, I was kind of an asshole, but like we would go to eat, he'd order 3 burritos. And every time I'd be like, do you really need 3? And I got him to the point where he was eating 1 burrito.
Yeah. I mean,
and then every time I'd go outside, I'd be like, you want to throw the football? You want to go outside, play some basketball? And he'd come. He's at 190. He lost 120 pounds in a year and a half. And he has hell stretch marks now, but like, he literally said he's like, it was literally just not eating in excess anymore and literally just getting up. He said literally standing up. He's like, I used to just sit all day. And he's like, I literally get up now. And like, he's like, he looks great. He looked great. 190, 6'5". Like
get him Chet.
Dude, I remember when I was moving out and we were looking at pictures of him. Like when I first moved in, I was like, dude, you have a chin now. I was like, you have a chin now. Like, cause you used to be like that. It was like, dude, you have a jawline. Like, like I was like, you're a good looking guy now, bro. Yeah. Like, it was like, huh?
No, sorry.
I was gonna say it was like he was like Mac when Mac went fat and then
that's what I was saying. Dude, that was such a power move by him. That was so sick.
You know, he actually got fat
on purpose. Yeah,
in real life
for the show. Yeah, he got fat for the show.
Yeah,
it's genius, dude.
But didn't he say he did that to show people that you can be fat and you can lose it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what he said. He's a beast, dude. He's literally a beast. Some people just need a push in the right direction.
100%, 100%. And like some
It's got to
people
be
call
tough
it,
love most of the time.
it's tough love. Like some people would have been like, "You were bullying. You're a bad friend." I was like, "Nah, dude." First off, I was disgusted by the amount he was eating, and I was just letting him know how gross I found the amount of food he would eat. I literally would tell him like, "Dude, the amount of food you're eating right now is actually gross. Like you are like committing gluttony."
But like if he's like 225,
Working
Boston
out.
2 hours a day,
Yeah, and he's like
active.
lifting and he's trying to get gains. But
Yeah,
this kid was
exactly.
just like we'd be like 6 hours deep into NCAA 14, like dynasty mode, and he'd be like, "Oh, let me just order 3 burritos from Chipotle." I'd be like, "Is that for like dinner and lunch tomorrow?" I'd be like, "Nah, this is just for right now." I'd be like, "What the fuck, bro? Like you don't need that. Like I can barely get through the one." Like
Yeah.
like what, like how the, and like he would just sit there and eat. I'd be like, "Dude, this is horrible. This is like the most disgusting like fucking sight on the planet." And like I would just let him know. I'm like a pretty brutal, honest person. Like I'll let
That's
you
how you
know.
gotta be, dude.
And like he just basically just started watching what he ate and like lost all his fucking weight. And like you said, like again, if you have a like a disease or health problem that like it's fine. Like my grandpa's skinny his whole life, but his last 10 years he ballooned because he got like cancer or something, like and that was out of his control. But it's again like it's being staying in weight. It just comes down to eating right, cardio, and I proper sleep. Just keeping your mental health correct, because I will put into disease mental health, but at the same time I'm a big proponent that your mental, like I'm a big proponent that like when I get sad I stop being sad. Okay, I go work out.
Exactly. Yeah.
I keep myself busy.
Very easily manipulate your mind.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are finally.
Well, no, it's just that people handicap. They allow themselves to use labels. That's why I never talk about like like I have ADHD and like ODD. Like like that's not shit like I talk about because like I don't care. Like if you ask me, I'll tell you about it, or if we're talking about it, I'll tell you about it. But I don't share it because I believe people who start the conversation, "Oh, I have ADHD," or "Oh, I'm this or that." Like, bro, you're just handicapping yourself. So whenever you have any shortcomings, you can be like, "Oh, you remember I told you that. I have this, I have that." Nah, like, "I'm sorry, I have anxiety." Nah, bro, like, I get that. Find a way to cope with it, okay, in a healthy form, and don't handicap. The problem is people self-handicap themselves. There's no reason, okay? Everything is gained with hard work. There's a great quote by Teddy Roosevelt. There's never been a man in history whose name has not been remembered. I gotta pull this up. Fuck this.
This is stuff I tell the guy I'm moving to go up on with. Like I'm moving to like, we're just getting it. We're getting it right, dude. Your body like could be your greatest weapon.
Yeah.
Your mind, your body, how you feel. It's so good to do it with other people too. Like my buddy, one of my old roommate, like he started really hitting the gym, eating right. Like he was counting his stuff, and like he like eventually was like, that was stupid. As you learn more and you go through more, but like
this is it. This is a quote. "Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering."
Yes, sir. It's a good quote.
Or there's another one where he has, "With self-discipline, almost anything is possible."
Yeah, hell yeah.
Or my
You
favorite.
could be good at anything. If we believe in love, if you believe in love.
If we worked on the assumption that what is accepted as true really is true, then there would be little hope for advance. Right here.
If we worked on the assumption that a visual learner. If we worked on the assumption that what is accepted as true, really, if we worked on the assumption that what is accepted as true really is true, then there would be little.
Exactly.
Can you help me out here?
if we worked on the assumption that what is accepted as true really is true, then there would be little hope for advance.
Well, I can read.
But basically, what he's saying is Howard Hughes was striving for so-called 0 to 1 innovations, not incremental, but groundbreaking and disruptive. In a certain way, he is so popular these days because, like, but like, I don't know. It's basically saying strive to always advance. Do what is said that's not possible.
Oh,
try to
yeah.
do the impossible, because if you really believe things are impossible, then we wouldn't advance as a society.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, that's the show, guys. Be a friend, tell a friend.
Yes, sir. I'm
did
about to
good.
eat like 4 tacos.
I feel like we go through these quicker. They pass by quicker now that we have the past 2 days with like the schedule.
Yeah, I'm out of location, so everything's just whack to me.
All right, buddy.
About vibing.
Enjoy your vacation, buddy. When are you home?
Thank you. Enjoy class tomorrow.
Thanks. Fuck you. I actually only have one class.